Now on CoastTV News.
Coastal closure, what drivers and visitors should expect during Route 50 drawbridge repairs. Plus, hospital cost control. Lawmakers in Dover reviewing bills today, including possible changes to a measure that was approved years ago.
Despite sunny skies, wind chills are in the teens through most of Delmarva. I'm tracking rather calm weather over the next few days before another shot of Arctic air this weekend leads to the threat of significant winter storm.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Tuesday, January 20th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story today, if you take Route 50 to visit Ocean City, well, you're going to have to plan a different route. Starting today, MDOT says the bridge will be closed entirely as the repairs require the drawbridge to be up. And in the meantime, MDOT says drivers will be directed to use detours. Those include Route 113 and Route 90. MDOT says the overall goal of the work is to extend the service of this 84-year-old bridge. Although this is a heavily traveled roadway, Robert Abaret says the off-season is the perfect time to get the work done.
Now's the perfect time to actually have it closed because it is off-season and a lot of the businesses down here are closed and there's not a lot of tourist activity coming across the bridge and the boat traffic is less.
After February 3rd, MDOT says since lane closures will be in place until work is complete, they say the estimated date of completion is March 3rd. And happening today in Dover, the Delaware State Senate taking up Bill 213, which are some tweaks to the law that created the hospital Diamond State Hospital Cost Review Board. And that was a big issue with hospitals. Under the law that was passed in 2024, the board would have authority in some cases to approve or change hospital budgets. It prompted a lawsuit by Christiana Care, and last week Senate Bill 213 reported out of the executive committee and was forwarded to the ready list. While there are still a number of requirements for hospitals, the act does remove the board's authority to change budgets. And in Maryland, a number of proposed bills are set for a hearing in the Senate today. According to the state, Senate Bill 110, or Mateo's Law, requires anyone involved in a deadly crash or accident that results in life-threatening injuries to be tested for impaired driving. Senate Bill 55 requires police to state all reasons for a traffic stop on a citation or police report. And Senate Bill 12 requires landlords to provide air conditioning for renters in apartment buildings with 4 or more units. Now taking a live look into Rehoboth Beach this morning, we are looking at a clear and sunny day, but we have a threat of a lingering snowstorm coming this weekend. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Yeah, it was a cold start to our day. We had temperatures fall in the low 20s, but really it was those wind chills smacking us in the face stepping out the door. If you were out early this morning, wind chills were as low as the single digits. We have bright blue skies in Cambridge. We're at 28 degrees, but look at the wind chills. Still feels like 17 in Lewis, 15 in Milford, and it feels like 19 in Salisbury as we continue to see that flow out of the northwest. We have plenty of clear skies across the area. High pressures building in across the western portion of the Ohio River Valley there, and we're going to see high pressure build in through the next few days. Now, the wind chills are going to hang out generally in the teens to lower 20s through the afternoon. We'll top out right around the 30-degree mark. Now, the good news is the winds are going to lighten up through the evening and overnight. The bad news is with clear skies and calm winds, that's going to allow for the temperatures to really bottom out overnight. Coming up, we'll talk about a brief warm-up here over the next few days before the bottom drops out over the weekend. We're talking about another round of Arctic air and the threat of significant snow. I'll have the latest on that here in minutes.
And like Chris just mentioned, we have this cold stretch to deal with. The Delaware Department of Health and Social Services is opening warming centers today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Sussex County at the Shipley State Service Center, Adams State Service Center, and Laurel State Service Center. In Kent County at the Williams State Service Center and Smyrna State Service Center, and over in Newcastle County at the Canby Park office, Claymont State Service Center, and Churchman's Corporate Center. Across Delmarva now, more warming centers in Somerset County will be open today and Wednesday. According to officials, the Crisfield and Princess Anne public libraries will be open from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. for anyone who needs to get out of that bitter cold. And due to the cold temperatures and increased energy usage, Milford officials are asking people to help conserve their power. And their ideal time today was from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The city says that would have helped lower costs for customers by lowering their thermostat by 2 to 3 degrees and wearing warmer clothing inside their home. Milford police now continuing an investigation into a deadly crash that happened early Monday morning. You're looking at the location of that crash right here on your screen now, where police say just after 6:30 a.m. a BMW was heading north on North Rehoboth Boulevard near Purdue Farms when an 81-year-old woman was hit. According to officials, she was taken to a hospital where she later passed. Milford police are continuing to investigate the cause of that crash. And happening today, discussion and possible action over safety upgrades for 2 intersections in Lewis at New Road and Foscol Lane. Those trails stop at the road with no crosswalk. It leaves people trying to walk or bike across, acting as their own crossing guard. And it's a similar story at the intersection of Gills Neck Road and Lewis Georgetown Trail. People we spoke to tell us they're hopeful for some crosswalks or additional signs.
I feel it's necessary. Yes, because there's a lot of seniors who live here and people bike that live in this area, and probably other neighborhoods who pass through here. And yes, definitely, I think it needs to be done because we have to be safe.
The Lewis Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee will meet tonight at 5:30 to discuss those possible improvements. And at that same meeting tonight, discussion and possible action to a proposal to move stop signs at Monroe and Railroad Avenues. According to the agenda, there is also a recommendation to lower the speed limit in the city and the Lewis Public Library, installing a bulletin board next to the trail at Stango Park. The Lewis Bicycle Committee meets at 5:30. And new this morning, Avelo Airlines extending its Philadelphia, Delaware Valley's Wilmington Airport flight schedule. The airline says this move gives travelers more time to plan for their summer getaways, with one-way fares starting at $52. The extended schedule, they say, will last with 8 popular destinations, some of those including Florida, Myrtle Beach, and Puerto Rico. Now stay with us on CoastTV News Midday, because coming up after the break, Pause of Purpose, Brandywine Valley SPCA honoring Dr. King, how people spent the day of service at the animal shelter.
Keeping warm through the day today, despite sunny skies, we stay below the freezing mark. Now, the good news is we'll moderate back to seasonable standards as we go into the day on Wednesday, and then even touching 50 as we go into Thursday. Congratulations, Joanne Warrington of Harbison, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from CoastTV. The latest on more Arctic air and a high impactful winter storm over the weekend.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day is all about service, and on Monday, local volunteers honored that message by giving back to their community. Instead of taking the day off, many people spent that holiday at the Brandywine Valley SPCA in Georgetown, where community members pitched in wherever help was needed, from sweeping floors and wiping down windows to doing laundry and dishes, all in support of animals across Delmarva. Mary Richardson, who works at BVSPCA, says the experience offers a rather unique perspective.
It's a great opportunity for people to see a side of the shelter that they don't see when they don't come in as a volunteer. There's the adopter side of the shelter, and then there's the volunteer side. And this is just another way to look at everything at the shelter.
Organizers say acts of service like these help keep Dr. King's legacy alive, reminding us that giving back can make a lasting difference both for people and pets in need. And coming up next, we got the Chris Cam going. Chris Mastrobono in the First Alert Weather Center. He's got your full forecast, including the threat of a winter storm after the break.
I hope everyone's keeping warm on this Wednesday. Well, no, Tuesday. I'm losing track of my days already. It's going to be a long week ahead. I'm looking ahead at this weekend. As we take a live look into Ocean View, we are seeing mostly sunny skies. They're 30 degrees right now. And if you were out early this morning, you had a little taste of those single-digit wind chills across the area. Temperatures right now, not all that bad. We're in the mid to upper 20s, 28 in Millsboro, 26 in Lewis. But when you factor in the winds, it feels like 15 in Milford. It feels like 17 in Rehoboth, and it feels like 19 in Ocean Pines. We're still picking up some wind gusts, 20 miles an an hour in Georgetown, 19 in Indian River Inlet. And we still do have small craft advisories up off the Delaware coast through the bay and then along the Chesapeake from Crisfield up through Annapolis, and those run through this evening. Now we're seeing plenty of sunshine throughout the area today, and high pressure building in, pretty quiet throughout much of the eastern half of the country, and that's really how we're going to stay for the rest of the week. In fact, we're going to be trending a little milder here, a little thaw, at least for, as best as we can do, lower 50s in through Thursday, and then another Arctic front is going to be coming through Friday night, dropping us back into the 20s for highs, leading us in to that potential winter storm at the end of the weekend. We'll top out right around 30, squeeze out a 30-degree temperature for areas across the peninsula this afternoon. We fall to 20 by 10 o'clock. It's going to be a cold night. Now, the wind chill factor really won't be an issue as those winds will relax. The wind chills are going to be kind of even to what the actual air temperature is going to be. You can see the wind gusts near 25 miles an hour over the next few hours, but then they really relax themselves into the evening and overnight, and that's going to allow temperatures to fall with clear skies, calm winds. We dipped to 14 in Georgetown, 12 Greenwood, 13 in Salisbury into your early part of your Wednesday. Wednesday seasonable. We're going to get into the lower to mid 40s. Could see a brief sprinkle overnight Wednesday into Thursday as a weak clipper pushes through, but by Thursday afternoon, mostly sunny skies, lower 50s. That is certainly going to be the pick of the week, because then we are tracking that potential snowstorm into the weekend, developing early Sunday morning. Now we're going to have quite an Arctic air mass sink southward, and this is going to produce quite a band of precipitation stretching from Texas through the Ohio River Valley and then the East Coast. We're going to have rain to the south, quite an ice storm down south, and then that band of snow. Where that heaviest axis of snow sets up remains to be seen, and how far north does that storm go. Now we expect snow to begin early Sunday morning and overspread the peninsula. Now there's still a lot of question marks as to the overall track of this storm. We could even see some mixing at the coast, but a good bit of the area is going to see potentially a significant snowstorm as we go into early Monday, and that's the other thing. The models slow the system down and push the snow even into Monday as well, and then we turn quite cold into the early part of next week. So the snow's not going anywhere. 38, mostly sunny sky, mostly cloudy skies into Friday, and then we cloud up into Saturday, 25, and now we have a yellow alert in play for Sunday to give you a heads up. We're tracking that threat of possible significant snow into Sunday and then lingering into Monday. Stay tuned with Coast TV for all the latest throughout the week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 6 p.m., Crisfield visits Pocomoke and boys basketball, and at 10:30, the final score wraps up the night. You can watch that game and more on DSN Plus, along with these exclusives. At 5:15, Lake Forest travels to Seaford in boys basketball. At 5:30, St. Michael's visits North Carolina in boys basketball. Also at 5:30, Wacomico takes on Snow Hill in girls basketball. And at 6:30, Dover battles Smyrna in boys basketball. Now here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Coming up today on Coast Life, literally need to get your popcorn ready. We're talking about National Popcorn Day. Pop, pop, pop. You're not going to want to miss that. Plus, jumping into the frigid water for a great cause. We're coming up on the Delaware Polar Plunge for Special Olympics. Got all sorts of things to talk about there, including how you can donate or even join in the fun. It's all coming up today on Coast Life.
Potential new tariffs appear to be impacting stock pre-trades, bond yields, and global exchanges. This is the first day U.S. markets are operating since President Donald Trump threatened Europeans with new tariffs. He's applying pressure, and as he seeks to control Greenland, Trump is threatening 10% duties on imports from 8 countries. If he imposes them, the European Union could retaliate. And President Donald Trump is a quarter of the way through his second term. A year ago today, he was inaugurated into office as the 47th president. It made him the second president in history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. As he enters his second year, some poll numbers indicate Trump is in a sophomore slump as some talks continue in Trump's attempt to take control of Greenland. And coming up on Coast TV News Midday, the iconic sphere comes to a new location. Where the major attraction is headed to next, and what officials believe it will accomplish. Maryland officials have announced plans to build a venue like the Las Vegas Sphere in National Harbor in Prince George's County, overlooking the Potomac River. The new Sphere would still have the exterior light display, but only have about 6,000 seats. State and local leaders say it could help replace some lost entertainment venues in the area. And we are less than an hour away from learning about more musical performances at the Delaware State Fair this year. According to organizers, the next installment of artists gets announced today at noon. The artists already revealed for the fair are Bailey Zimmerman with Chandler Walters and For King and Country, and Weird Al Yankovic with Puddles, The Pity Party, That's the Singing Clown. And the Delaware State Fair takes place this year, July 23rd to August 1st. And Delaware State Seashore Park is alerting visitors to temporary changes at the Fresh Pond Trail. The trails will be closed to the public daily except Sundays. The park says from January 17th through January 31st due to hunting season. The park saying that hunters will not have access to shooting stands 2 and 3 from January 19th through the 21st as crews complete trail repairs. Park officials say the closures are for public safety.
Well, the sun is shining in Milford, but it is a cold one out there. We're seeing wind chills in the teens, 26 degrees there. We'll stay below the freezing mark through the afternoon under those sunny skies. And you can always call our Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. That cold 10-day forecast is up next. Mostly sunny skies through our afternoon. We'll top out right around 30 degrees, then fall to 22 by around 7. Winds are going to be relatively calm going into the evening and overnight, and that's going to allow temperatures to really bottom out into Wednesday morning. We fall to 14 degrees. Now, the good news is we begin to see some moderation in the temperature. Seasonable day on Wednesday. We keep the sunshine in play through Thursday as well. 51 and then 38 on your Friday with clouds on the increase. Another Arctic front is going to be pushing through the region, and that's going to set the stage for a potential high-impact winter storm beginning Sunday morning and then potentially continuing into Monday. We're going to continue to fine-tune the forecast as the overall track may shift a bit over the next 5 days, but we'll continue to fine-tune the forecast, getting very cold even behind the storm system as we stay well below average. Look at that morning low by Tuesday morning, 9 degrees. So we'll have the latest throughout the week as we approach this potential winter storm into the weekend. Grace.
Chris, that's what we asked for. We wanted some winter
Yes,
temperatures. And here you go. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News Midday. If you would like more local news and local weather, especially ahead of this potential storm, you should download our Coast TV News and weather apps. And don't forget to join us back here for Coast TV News at 5. That's later this afternoon. Until then, have a great Tuesday.